season. Chicago is yet to notch a win against a division opponent this year, but those are just minor details. Let's look on the bright side. The Bears have 4 comeback wins in the fourth quarter this season, tied for their most in the league. However, the combined record of those opponents, 10-28. Not great. However, what I started with was the positives about the Chicago Bears, and so now I ask you guys a very simple question. Are the Bears good? You won't hurt my feelings.
Hold on.
All right,
hold on. Go ahead. Hold on. Before anybody speaks. Shay.
Yep.
You have this job because we've seen you on SportsCenter. We've heard you on radio. We've seen you sub in here. You deserve it. You're absolutely sensational as a host. That is the worst lead-in to a discussion I have ever heard. I'm blaming you and the producers. How you going to introduce the subject and be a homer, saying all the superlatives that are out there? I mean, damn. You talk about leading the witness. You talk about leading the witness. I mean, damn. After that, it's like, where else is there for us to go? Where we gonna go? I mean, would you just sit up there and say, I love me my Chicago Bears, and don't y'all dare say another word, a negative word about them? I mean, could you do that? I mean, damn. I haven't even done that about the Knicks.
I was about to say, isn't that rich coming from someone who told me the Knicks are going to win the championship this year? Literally told me by default the Knicks are winning the championship.
But I said the Knicks was going to win the championship. What I didn't do was list 10 reasons as to why they would do it. Just say, okay, y'all could go. Well, go ahead. Go ahead, y'all.
Usually you guys do that and then leave me just with scraps at the end of an argument. So now I'm going to do the same for y'all.
I thought it was a great lead.
Wow. That's cool. I was just waiting because I just wanted to state the obvious here. Is the thing about what we should lead with the positive.
I love that.
Caleb Williams has proven that he belongs. Ben Johnson's hire now makes sense. But it's the who. And in every single sport, you always ask the who. Baseball? Who did you beat? Basketball? Who did you beat? Man, football? Who did you beat? Matter of fact, let's even go to boxing. Who did you beat? When you start to list, who did you beat? Now, okay, cool. Before we jump to conclusion, we have to ask the who. And it hasn't been somebody that you can hang your hat on, no pun intended. But that's the only question. And call me the hater? Yes, I'm the biggest realist. Not a hater, I'm a realist.
So are the Bears good or bad?
They're pretenders up until this point of the season. Unfortunately, that I believe.
You can't, that's okay.
So here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say we don't know. And I know on this show, you're not supposed to say that, right? You're not supposed to say that we don't know. But we get to find out. Because when you look at the facts, because we're talking about facts, Caleb Williams belongs. Mm-hmm. Caleb Williams has shown that the search for your franchise quarterback in Chicago is over. Your search for a head coach is over. This pairing will work. This pairing is finding out ways to work in the most important moments. But then you look at this defense, the type of scores that they let people get in, the way that they let people score late. And you think about the Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions. You lose to Huntley in that way, and now you lose, and you lost early on in the season by giving up 52. Down the stretch, they have important games, and they will get to tell us whether or not they are contenders.
Go ahead,
Shay, your Chicago Bears are very good. They're not great. You can't call them contender status yet, but they're vastly improved. Cam is right. RC is right when he says they have found their head coach. Ben Johnson, coach. I like Ben Johnson a lot. I'm very fond of him. And Caleb Williams, as I have been saying, coming into the season where it is game 18 of his career, because he started off 17 games last year, 3 different head coaches, 4 different offensive coordinators. Give the guy a break. Let's see what he can do. And sure enough, now that we've seen, we're very impressed with him, and we know the future is bright for him and the Chicago Bears. But to piggyback off of what you said, Shay, the teams that they've beaten, the 6 teams that they've beaten, have a combined record of 15-41-1. Okay? Pass rush is suspect. Injuries and miscues in the secondary. And the offensive line is suspect as well. And even though they won 4 games coming back to win, they were trailing in the final 2 minutes of 4 games against the 15-41-1 crew that they went up against. So again, we shall see. but it's still better than what it has been, and there's an upward trajectory, and they should be very proud of what they've been doing.
I've watched this team so many times. In those fourth quarter comebacks, those were games we would always lose.
Basically.
Always would the Bears lose those games.
Shay.
So now we've found ways to win, which I think is promising.
All we did was just
Fill my cup with a little more warm water.
let you down gracefully.
Yeah, thank you.
We didn't drop you.
I didn't drop
But we just.
We're unsure.
Let you down.
We're unsure, I think, was what we came to the point here about the Chicago Bears. We'll talk more about that later.
Which is okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
Favorite against the Bears. Joe, explain this and tell us who you got.
We're going to lay the points here with Minnesota against Chicago. Try to look past the record and realize the Bears have been way too dependent on turnovers. Key to this game is going to be linebacker T.J. Edwards. If he can't play, that Chicago run defense, which already has problems, is going to take a massive hit, and Minnesota is going to run right through them at home. You take the crowd noise, you take the Minnesota pressure, and you put Caleb Williams in that situation. I think the Bears are in a little bit of trouble here. I like Minnesota.
You know, it's interesting. The Patriots are on this winning streak, and we're celebrating them, and we've got the Broncos. We celebrate their defense. Bears, it doesn't feel like we're doing the same. The Bears are red hot. It's kind of like, well, the Bears won, but who'd they play? Graz, are you in on this Bears hot streak?
I don't think it ends up. Well, they're 6-3. I don't think it ends up with a playoff berth this year. It's very impressive what Ben Johnson is doing. Caleb Williams, fourth quarter comebacks, heroics, etc., still a little bit erratic. I feel like on any given play, anything can happen with Caleb Williams. Whereas with J.J. McCarthy, you're just hoping like something happens.
That's it.
And so that's
the bar is a little different. Yeah.
But yeah, I think their Bears are on the right track. Obviously, they've been relying on turnovers. I think it's maybe a year early to expect them to be a playoff team, in spite of the fact that they're in position to do it, but on the right track for sure.
It's funny you say that about, J.J. McCarthy, because calling that game last week, that's how everyone in the stands felt. We just want J.J. McCarthy to do something. Like, you have the best wide receiver in the game, and Justin Jefferson, 12 targets and only 4 catches.
This one wasn't great. I'll also add, the one, you were there. I was watching. They were in this game, though, throughout. It felt like they had a chance. We just made a play.
Well, it was that 3rd and 6 early on in the second quarter that I felt like, J.J. McCarthy, you got to run and pick up that first down versus trying to force the issue, and it became an interception. That gave Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens more life. So instead of going up 17-3, now it's 10-6. Momentum towards Baltimore.
It shouldn't be that surprising. This is who he was in Michigan. Yep. And then everyone was like, well, no, Michigan ran this system, but when he comes to the pros, you project out it's going to look like this. Well, now it looks like it did at Michigan, and we're all kind of surprised by it for some reason.
I don't know why we make it the Bears such an underdog. I mean, this is the first matchup they had as a divisional opponent. It was a loss 24-27, right? And you talk about, Ben Johnson having something maybe on his defense, him busy once again with the stats, 4 times that he's gone over 30 points against Brian Flores' defense. I think as this game is tight, the pressure mounts on J.J. McCarthy because he knows that he's underperforming. He knows that he's the one who's holding this Super Bowl caliber roster back.
Okay, so that's an NFC battle in the NFC North, but this has been hyped as the NFC